What's going on, guys? It's Gendo here, and welcome to episode 23 of If I Had a Hammer. And today, we're going to be taking on Watford at home. But before we get to that, we must go over how I've been faring in the league over the last month, as well as get to our quarterfinal match versus Everton. So why don't we just go right into that, because it sure as hell was a barn burner, I'll tell you that. The stats show that we were a statistical underdog. We only had 8 shots, 5 of them on target, but we were able to score 3 goals to force a replay against Everton. Zivkovic getting himself a brace, Ødegaard with the 3rd goal, and on the other side, Lukaku with a brace, and then Takeshi Inui, me neither. He was the one that, in the 81st minute, knotted the match up at 3 apiece and what forced the replay. Just to get 3 past these guys with how much they were putting the pressure on us. They had 24 shots, 10 of them on targets. As I said, we had 8 and 5. They had more possessions. Just to be able to go toe-to-toe with Everton at this stage was a big accomplishment, but forcing the replay, coming back to the Olympic Stadium, I really had to take my chances from the off. But wouldn't you know it, in the replay, it just was not to be, as we lost to Everton 2-1. Dimitri Payet being our only goal scorer in the 2nd minute of stoppage time at the end of the first half. On Everton's side, Zakaria Bakali, and then the one name that I didn't think would come back to haunt us, but Alberto Pelosi, former Hammer, in the 69th minute, sealing the victory for Everton and seeing the Toffees on to the semifinal. Alberto Pelosi didn't do much all season. I believe this is only his 5th goal all season, and wouldn't you know it, it had to be against us, his former employers. But so we're out of the FA Cup. We can't get into European placements by the cup competitions, so we now need to focus on the league. But the team were certainly feeling the sting of the loss to Everton, as we then went to Carroll Road and lost to Norwich by the score of 2-1. Another former Hammer doing us in, as Andy Carroll in the 16th minute getting the Canaries off to a wonderful start, and then a penalty in the 55th made it 2-0 to Norwich. Jamie Vardy getting one back in the 63rd, but ultimately it was a lack of taking our chances and lack of possession in the final third to create those chances is what put us at a disadvantage. Only 9 shots, 5 of them on targets. Overall, we played rather average, and as I said before, if you play average against teams like this, well, you're just not going to expect victories. Cue up a victory against a London side, although it was Crystal Palace and it is 1-0. Not all that dominant, to be quite honest with you. Yes, we had 54% possession, 13 shots, 6 of them on target, but Zivkovic had to bail us out in the 86th minute. Honestly, did not think it would take that long to get a goal, especially with how much pressure we were putting on Crystal Palace in the final third. To only get 1 goal out of it is really disappointing, but we came away with all 3 points, and that's something I can't complain about at the end of the day. And then finally, we traveled to the Liberty Stadium and then defeated Swansea City by the score of 2-1. Swansea getting 6 yellow cards on the day. They did everything they could to try and stop us from getting into the final third and shooting and scoring at the very least. We were able to get into their final third, but it was the shooting and scoring that was somewhat of a problem at the very end. Yes, we did have 2 goals, 3 out of 3 shots on target, but only 7 shots total. We really need to up that ratio. Overall, everyone played fantastic. Zivkovic, though. Zivkovic sprained his ankle and is going to be out for what I assume is going to be the rest of the season. He's out for another 3 to 4 weeks. We do have a 2-week break before our last match versus Everton. It is possible that he can come back in time to play that final match, but it's looking very doubtful. Sprained ankle, really sucky to have, and to lose a player with the caliber of Zivkovic, with what he's done for us all season, to lose him at a time like this is really bad. So hopefully we can kick on without him in these next few matches. So let's hope that he gets better and comes back soon. Right, and this is what the table looks like right now. We are currently in 6th place after, the 4 matches where we didn't get a win until these last 2. We were able to save ourselves, but we are still 8 points clear of Newcastle. And with 4 matches to go, if we get a couple of wins, we are at least securing ourselves 6th place. And as you can see, all the way down there, Sunderland have got themselves a European League spot. or Europa League spot, excuse me, because they won the Capital One Cup. I know, Sunderland, Capital One Cup, never would have thought it. But taking a look at the 5 teams above us, United, City, Arsenal, Liverpool, and Chelsea, all of them within reach, and I assume that's why there is no CL or EL next to their names, because no one knows where they're going to be at the end of all of this. And, you know, we're only 8 points off the top. I don't think we're going to get the full complement of 12 points in our last 4 matches to help push us up into first place. But, you know, one can dream, can't they? So, you know, I want to try and push up into 5th place at least, but at the very end of the day, 6th place is possibly enough to get a European placement. All comes down to how we perform in these last 4 matches, and it all starts with today's match against Watford. So without Zivkovic sitting there on the right, we're going to have to go into our 4-5-1 formation, and this is who we're going to line up today. We're going to have Butland in net, Byram, Subotic, Hoban, and Cresswell along the back line. Mark Noble is our defensive mid. Fellaini and Obiang are our 2 center mids, with Payet and Ødegaard out on the right wing today. And then Jamie Vardy sitting up top, trying to train him to be a false 9. He does have the stats to do it, but he just doesn't have the familiarity with it. Want to try and get him at least a little bit of match time in that position going into next season. So hopefully he can be a little bit more familiar with the role. But this is what we're going to go with, and hopefully, cross fingers, we get ourselves a victory and go on a nice little bit of a run to get up into proper, solid European placements. So let's kick off and see what happens. And yes, this is our first highlight of the day, 28 minutes on. I'm sorry there hasn't been a whole lot of anything, but barely anybody's been taking shots. Only 3 shots total between all of us, and hopefully we can make something of this little bit of attacking possession here. Payet tried to flip the field, but we do get it back. Fellaini, Mark Noble getting it up to Sam Byram on the wing. Several options in the box. Gets it back once again. Falls to Martin Ødegaard. And Martin Ødegaard gets his 6th goal of the season. Makes it 1-0 to West Ham. Finally, after 29 minutes. Martin has been a tremendous help for us all season. More as a substitute than a starter. But today, we're actually giving him a run out. And he helps us out by scoring our first goal of the game. Just about 35 minutes on, we have the ball once again. Obiang flipping the field to Cresswell. Options in the box. Can't get it through. That was Angelo Ogbonna who cleared that away. Former West Ham player. Obiang out to Byram on the right. Several options in the box, but Watford are doing very well to cut us out. Jamie Vardy in. Jamie Vardy, Ødegaard, but saved by Kalinic in net. Very unfortunate. I thought we could have made it 2-0. So we reach halftime once again. This is starting to become a broken record. We come up to halftime at 1-0, and we have the majority of possession. We have about 60% possession, I want to say. 7 shots, 3 of them on targets. You saw in the highlights. But we need to get a little bit more clinical in our finishing. I don't want to change up too much. I just want to tell my guys to go back out there and just play like how you have been. Because if we keep doing that, we're going to get the win. Plain and simple. Oh my God, are you serious? I was just watching the game go by, and then off the opening kickoff of the second half, Watford have equalized. I thought for sure this would have just gone out for a goal kick, but what a cross in, and Forshaw with the goal to knot the match up. Wow, can't believe it. Just past the hour mark, and that was a throw-in, but unfortunately we can't do anything with it. I'm looking to think about starting to sub people out that have not done well at all this day. I know we have a couple yellow cards out there, but Subotic has been bad. Jamie Vardy has been underwhelming. Unless he can get a goal right here, he does. I may still sub him out because that is 21st goal of the season notwithstanding. It's 2-1 West Ham, but honestly, he's been underperforming and Subotic has been underperforming. I may think about subbing both of them out. That was a poor back pass by Dawson, allowing Vardy to score that. I'll take it. I'll take it any way I can, but as that performance aside, he's been really lackluster. He may get himself an assist right here, unless he's on the edge of the box. Sam Byram getting it in. Well, attempted to get it in. We still have possession of the ball. Noble to Fellaini, to Obiang. Obiang to Jamie Vardy. Decent shot. Now he's starting to pick it up. He probably heard me from the sideline saying, hey, asshole, I'm going to sub you off if you don't do anything well. But he has definitely turned it on in the second half. Pedro Obiang needs to watch himself. I saw him closing that guy down. I was getting scared. But we're going to make the 2 subs. As I said, we're going to sub... Ooh, do I have a center back? I have Sven Bender, but he's not really reliable as a center back. That's... I probably should have thought about this beforehand, because I know I have Reece Burke and Reece Oxford sitting in my pile, but I guess I forgot to put him on the bench today. That's a mistake. My bad. I'm sorry. But, okay, that notwithstanding, we're going to sub out Aaron Cresswell with Charlie Taylor just because yellow cards late in the match. I don't want to see that. Mark Noble's going to move up to take over Pedro Obiang's spot, and then Sven Bender's going to drop down and take over that. And other than that, those are going to be my only 2 changes then. 3 minutes of stoppage time on the clock. Oh, we do get it back. Can we hold on to it? We do. Driussi to Vardy. We could hit him on a counter. We could put this game away. Driussi into the... That's a penalty. Get in, boys. We could put this match away right here. Right here from the spot kick. Who's taking it? Number 16 is Mark Noble. That's right. He is my top penalty taker, apparently with the best penalty taking stats. I really wanted to give it to Jamie Vardy, but Mark Noble, he does what he does. 3-1 to West Ham off that late penalty. This match is done and dusted. We have this W in the books and another 3 points to help us out. And as I said, match done and dusted. Full time, West Ham 3, Watford 1. 3 points that should possibly help us push into 5th place. But definitely happy with how the entire team played to give them a good morale boost right there. We did, in fact, take over Chelsea for 5th spot. So now we're in automatic European placements. I don't know if 6th is going to be automatic. I don't even know who's going to be in the FA Cup final. Everton we know are in the semifinals, but I don't know who else are. So we'll have to take a look at that before we have a wrap-up of the episode. So the final 4 of the FA Cup is a rather curious one. I mean, you have Burnley and Norwich as one matchup, but also Manchester United and Everton. Now, if everything goes down as it should, really, Manchester United are going to come away as FA Cup champions, which means that a Europa League spot would open up to the 6th place team. Now, that being said, I don't want to shoot for 6th place just in case one of those other 3 teams pulls off an upset. So I want to stick to 5th place as long as possible, but with the next 3 matches upcoming, it may be a little harder than thought. But you got to be thinking to yourself, Burnley are in 19th place. They can't be too terribly bad. Well, they got to the FA Cup semi-final for a reason. You can't throw them under the bus just yet, because those little teams can bite you in the ass if you really don't pay attention to them. So Burnley are upcoming next. Then we go away to the Emirates and take on Arsenal. And really, our entire European placements could hinge on this match. But we will be coming back to the final match of the season and then have a complete season roundup after our match against Everton. I really want to get revenge on them for knocking us out of the quarterfinals of the FA Cup. I really thought we would have got past them at that point in time. So hopefully we can come back and get a victory on the final day of the season. So until that time, I'd like to thank you all very much for watching. If you like what you saw, please hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and you want to see more FM content on the channel. Any comments, suggestions, questions, please, as always, leave in the comment box below. And as always, this is Gendo, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, and peace out.